Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know if you can tell, but something's kind of different. Yes, I did dye my hair pink. Hopefully the color stays. My hair does not hold color very well, so we'll see how long this lasts. But today I wanted to get into a video that I see a lot of creators make, and nearing the end of 2022, I wanted to talk about the 12 things that I learned in 2022. For me personally, 2022 was a big year. I got my first big girl full-time job in 2022. I work for Dignitas as their social content producer. And I also moved down to LA, and I was a featured creator at VidCon, and I spoke at 3 panels there, and I also spoke at a panel at TwitchCon, and I attended my first TwitchCon this year as well. So there's been some big things that I did, and I learned a lot along the way. So as always, I'm here to share my knowledge with you. Also, sorry if I keep looking away, I'm playing Cookie Run Kingdom right now. So the very first lesson that I learned is, what are you rushing for? There is plenty of time. I don't know, I feel like it was a really big struggle. Maybe this is because of my upbringing. I'm a child of immigrants. My parents both immigrated from China, and I went to UC Berkeley, so I did go to a pretty up there college, and I'm also a content creator. So I feel like all 3 of those combined became a perfect storm for just constantly trying to push yourself forward. It felt like I was never doing enough, and no matter how far I felt like I was getting in life, there were always 18, 19-year-olds on YouTube that were doing more. There's always people at my college that was doing more, and people that I knew that had graduated already had 6-figure jobs lined up and stuff like that, and I was like, hee, I am full-time content creating, and just kind of vibing. And it was a hard thing for me to swallow, but it took me a while to realize that there is plenty of time. I had a crisis, and I took a step back, and I was like, yo, Kat, what are you rushing for? You are literally 22. Why do you want to buy a house by next year? That's 23. You have so long to live. You have a very long life to live. There's so much you will do in your life. You don't need to compact everything into this year. And I felt like I spent a really long time trying to go and just get as much done as I could, and I didn't really take time to even enjoy the moments of what I was doing because I was so busy trying to look for the next thing. You have a long life to live, and you have plenty of time. So focus on being more present and enjoying things in the moment. Secondly, manifestation boards kind of work. I'm a big skeptic. I will straight up say I'm a big skeptic. I am the type of person that's always really down to try things, but I don't necessarily will believe in it. I'll just try it. I was feeling kind of lost. I had a lot of things that I wanted to do in the beginning of this year, earlier in this year, and I was just I don't know how I'm gonna make this happen. And somebody suggested making a manifestation board, and I, again, as a big skeptic, was I'm down to try it. I really don't think any of this is gonna work, but I'm down to try it. I don't know what's up. I feel like me making this manifestation board was really helpful in all of these other successes that later came on for me in 2022. And I was talking to my friend about it, basically saying, yeah, dude, I'm a really big skeptic, but this manifestation board, most of the things that I put down came true. And she said, oh, maybe it's just because you wrote it down. So because you tangibly wrote this down, then you had a good visual of your goals, because you knew what your goals were, but they were kind of up in your head. So it's just kind of floating around ambiguously. But once you actually write it down and put it down on a piece of paper, you now clearly have something written down for you to work towards. And when she said that, game changer for me. So shout out to my friend Molly, who listens. But yeah, that was oh, that's probably actually why it worked for me, because I literally wrote all these things down, and now I had a tangible goal of I want this, I want this, I want this, and now it just kind of helped put everything together. So if I were you, I would just go make a manifestation board. I really didn't know how to go about this. I literally went into Adobe Express. It was a graphic design program in the browser, and I just grabbed a whole bunch of photos of things that I really wanted in my life, slapped them together, and then in Notion I just made a list of stuff that I wanted. I only checked out about half of it, but I feel like I had a whole bunch of other unspoken goals that were kind of in my head, and these unspoken goals came true, if that makes any sense. I would give it a shot. It can't hurt anyways. 3, this was a really woke one for me, but if you're tired, go to sleep. I feel like I'm still working on this, and I'm still trying to make this happen, but I would just have so much to do and so much on my plate, and I'm no, I can't go to sleep till I finish this. And then one time my boyfriend was literally Kat, what is the deadline? And I was well, I need to upload a YouTube video by tomorrow. And he's do you? Or is this just a deadline that you set for yourself? And I was yo, you kind of right. No, like nothing is gonna happen to me if I don't upload this YouTube video by tomorrow. I just wanted to do it. But it's not worth stressing yourself out and making yourself sick and burnt out because you keep trying to push yourself. There was a quote that I read online. Okay, I don't really remember the quote anymore. I can't really find it, but if you know this quote, let me know down below. I saw another creator talk about it, but it was something like, if you're tired, go to sleep. If you're angry, go... Forgot what the angry was. And then if you're anxious, go, or maybe it was angry. If you're angry, go eat. But basically it was something like that. And basically if you're tired, go sleep really resonated with me because I was like, whoa, this is so obvious, but why don't I actually do this? I feel like overall that just helps reduce burnout and makes sure that you can continue your content creation stuff and just make sure that you can stay more positive and just live a better life overall because you're not constantly trying to push yourself beyond what your body is telling you. Hey man, I'm tired, let's go sleep now. 4, everyone's on their own journey, so focus on yours. Like, I know this concept, but still kind of like telling my brain this is a little bit hard sometimes. But honestly, everyone is on their own journey. And sometimes I'll see people doing big and amazing things and I'm like, yo, I want to do this big and amazing thing too. But I'm kind of like spending too much time looking at what other people are doing and not enough time focusing on just myself and making sure that I am getting myself to where I want to be. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is doing their own thing. Some people may look like they're further ahead of you, but they could have started earlier. You just didn't know. Spending all of your time and resources focusing on someone else is just taking away time and resources from you getting yourself ahead. Focus on yourself. 5, it's okay to treat yourself. This was a hard one for me to grasp as well. I grew up in a middle-class household, but my family was always a little bit on the stingy side. So I kind of grew up not spending my money on things. And even from a young age, I didn't want to like use my parents' money for anything because I viewed their money as their money and my money as just like the stuff that I earned from red envelopes as a child and like hustling to get the money when I was like, I would sell candy in grammar school, and then I would sell jewelry in high school and art. And then in college, I had a boba business. So that's like what I considered my money, but I didn't have very much of it. So I barely spent it. I was super stingy back like when I was in school. So once I left school, the concept, and then got a full-time job and started making money, content creating as well, the concept of treating yourself was something that I didn't understand really. Like I would buy things for me here or there, but it was really cheap stuff. I wouldn't really splurge on anything. And partially because I'm still cheap and very stingy, but also partially because the concept of spending money on myself and like luxury goods, I guess, was something that I couldn't really grasp growing up from the financial background that I did. But realizing that it's okay to treat yourself. Like, why am I spending all of this time trying to save all of my money? Like, what am I saving for? Retirement. That's what I keep telling myself. Like, I'm saving for retirement. I'm saving for retirement. And I still think that retirement is something you should save for. But at the end of the day, like, spending $20 here to go and buy this food that you really wanted to eat, or spending this $50 here to go and buy this one item that you really wanted, the world is still gonna turn. You're gonna be fine. You will make more money. It is okay to spend money on these little luxuries, these little things that will just make you happier overall. I still think though, to treat yourself should be kind of limited. You shouldn't be treating yourself like every day, for instance. But you know, at least like once a week, it is okay to spend money on yourself to go and be happier and enjoy things a little bit more. Recently, I started paying money for massages here or there. I would go out and like get a foot massage or like a back rub, stuff like that. Those are just little things. It is definitely a luxury. I'm super grateful that I can include something like that in my life, but it's something that I would have never even considered like even a year ago, because I was like, dude, why am I wasting my money for this? You know, like I'm just gonna save it. But you don't need to be saving all the time. 6, surround yourself with people that inspire you. There's kind of a saying that goes, actually, I keep thinking of these sayings, but now I can't remember any of these sayings. So I could be just pulling all of this out of my ass. But I'm pretty sure there's a saying out there that's like, you are the people around you or something like that. Basically referring to you are a reflection of your friends and the people you have around you. So if your friends are the type of people that aren't very ambitious, they aren't trying to do anything with their life, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you are happy doing, like, maintaining the status quo and just vibing, you do you. Like, I have no right to tell you how to live your life. But as somebody who is trying to make this content creation career a reality and, you know, trying to make it for myself, you know what I'm saying? I found that surrounding myself around people that are pursuing similar things, that have the same level of ambition, really helps motivate me because I see them working hard, I see them grinding, I see them putting in all of this effort, and it motivates me to do the same because I'm like, oh, I have a constant reflection of hard work and work ethic in the people around me. So it like kind of bleeds back into me. I just found that it motivates me and it helps, make sure that I'm getting to where I need to be. 7, if an opportunity appears, take it. So for me personally, I don't know, I don't have social anxiety, but I feel like when it comes to influencer related events, content creator related things, I definitely get a little shy, which is weird because like I'm a very extroverted person, but I think it's a level of intimidation and like tied into imposter syndrome because I'm like, oh, like I don't think I'm as big or as good as these creators, so why should I go to this event? Like why was I even invited? So I'm kind of like scared and I kind of don't even want to go because I don't think I belong here. That type of logic. And also I have an attachment to my time. So a lot of times I don't like to give up slots in my time because I'm like, oh, but what if something better or cooler, like a cooler opportunity appears later, and then now I'm bound by this first opportunity I said yes to. I don't know, I have this like weird complex with time. Like it's like the same logic as to why I don't have a tattoo. It's because I have an attachment to like the space on my body. Like what if I come up with a different tattoo idea later, but I already have a piece on my arm? You know what I mean? Now I can't use this arm space because I already used it. I have this like weird complex. I don't know. Let me know if you have this type of complex too. I used to just every time like an opportunity came up, stuff like that, a lot of times I would just like default say no. I'm kind of like, oh, I'm good, it's okay. Like, and looking back, I'm like, why was I doing that? Like, why was I just defaulting no as an answer? Because I didn't think I was good enough. I started doing this thing in 2022 where I would just say yes to all these opportunities that came around and then bail later if I wanted to, which I actually haven't bailed on a single thing that I said yes to so far, that I remember anyways. But instead of just like getting scared and letting your default answer be no, you make yes your default answer. Because the worst comes to worst, you can always literally tell them no later. You can be like, oh, hey, sorry, I can't make it anymore. I'm like, sick or whatever. But you can always back out later and it's fine. But if you said no in the beginning and then you change your mind later and you actually did want to go, then you can't really take that back anymore. It doesn't really work that way. But if you said yes and then you got sick, you can always say no later. So I started living life way more carpe diem and just like seizing the moment and just going for it because I would just bail later. That's what I told myself anyways. I was just like, I'll just bail later if I didn't want to go. And after going to all these things that I was kind of scared to go, I've loved like every single one of them. I was always super grateful that I actually went. So it was just kind of like my imposter syndrome spooking me and making me not want to go. 8, if you can, you should travel. Again, this kind of goes back into the treat yourself thing, but I traveled so much this year. I went to, God, I'm trying to remember. I traveled to LA a lot. I like moved to LA in June. From January to June, I was like constantly going to LA. In March, I went to Vancouver. In May, I went on a cruise to Alaska. In then, a couple of trips to San Diego. And then I went to Chicago in September. And then I went to Hawaii in October, and I'm going to Korea, Seoul in December. So by the time this video is up, I probably will be in Seoul actually. I'm super grateful I'm able to do all of this traveling. I am lucky in which my job is hybrid remote, so I could do this type of traveling, and that my job lets me take the time off to go to Korea because I struck up a deal with them and they said, okay. It's honestly so fun and so eye-opening to go and see different places, experience different things. I think traveling is something that is very fun and really rewarding, and experiencing other cultures. Although I didn't really go to a different country necessarily besides Canada, but that doesn't really count. But still, it's nice things to kind of develop your life experiences. If you are in a position where you can travel, I really think it's worth it. I was somebody that, again, was really stingy, and back in the day, like even a year ago, wouldn't really catch me doing stuff like this because I would be too busy trying to save my money and scrape pennies. 9, quality of life improvements are worth the financial investment. I feel like this is just becoming a list of things I learned after I stopped being stingy. But again, I used to be really stingy. I wouldn't want to spend money on things. And I learned that the financial investment to save your just mental and your time is really worth it. For instance, I bought Adobe Premiere Pro, or the subscription for it anyways. And it is a game changer. I used to use DaVinci Resolve to edit my YouTube videos, which is a free editing software, but you cannot auto caption in it. You have to manually add your captions. Well, I don't caption my YouTube videos, but I do for my TikToks. And it took so much time to where I wouldn't even want to make content because I just knew that I would have to put in all of this work for editing, and I just didn't want to do it because I don't like editing. But investing in Premiere Pro allowed me to become a better content creator because I was able to put out more content because I could auto caption. And Premiere Pro just overall so much easier in terms of content creation. There's a lot of shortcuts. You can have presets. You can copy and paste these presets around. So it would take, like the time it would take me to edit one TikTok went from like an hour down to like 10 minutes. Simply because of this program that I just spent some money on. And same thing goes for a lot of other things as well. Quality of life improvements will make your life so much better because throughout your day, you probably got used to it, so you didn't notice, but there will be constant discomforts and just kind of like jabs at you throughout the day from being cheap and or like getting the free version of things or the not so good version of things because you're trying to save money, and there would be lots of issues overall and your life just gets so much better without it. Like for instance, my mattress back at home sucked. It was a 17-year-old mattress. The spring, it was really hard. The springs were always jabbing me. My back always kind of hurt every time I woke up, but I would just kind of roll with it because I was cheap and I didn't want to buy a new mattress. Came down to LA, had to buy a new mattress. I have this mattress topper. My bed is so comfortable. When I lay in bed, I'm just like, it's so soft. My back doesn't hurt in the morning anymore. That's just one example. My getting a nice gaming chair to where my butt doesn't hurt when I'm sitting in here. I can sit in this chair for 10 hours a day. I am fine. When I first moved down, I was sitting in an IKEA folding chair, 30 minutes, my butt and my back would be hurting. So great investment, investing in a nice monitor, investing in a faster computer, all of that stuff made my life so much better. And all of these like little nuances that would irritate me throughout the day, poof, it's all gone now. On the same note, don't be cheap with technology if you're buying technology. Again, I've had experiences in the past where I was trying to be cheap, so I would buy the cheaper version of technology. An example, I bought the iPad Air when I was in college because I wanted an iPad, I wanted to Procreate so I can draw and take notes on my iPad in school. But what I didn't realize, also it was 64 gigabytes. And what I didn't realize was Procreate caps your layers based on your device's memory. So I would try to draw in like the canvas size I normally draw in, like about 3,000 by 4,000. And I would be capped to around 18 layers, which is really hard to draw in. Now I went out and bought an iPad Pro 12.9 inches with like, I don't know, 256 gigabytes or something like that. And it runs beautifully. It runs perfectly. And that's the thing, right? I went and bought this iPad Air and then it didn't do what I needed it to do. So I ended up having to actually buy the better one anyways. So overall, I ended up spending more money. Whereas if I just went and bought the more expensive, better one in the first place, I wouldn't have to spend the money to replace it. I saved more money doing that. I think investing in technology that will help you improve your life, and it will be something that we only have to purchase it once and it will last you for a good hot minute. I think that is so worthwhile. So if any of you streamers trying to upgrade your computer or whatever equipment, please just buy the best one outright. And then you will just avoid a whole ton of headaches and you will end up spending less money doing that overall. Point number 10, don't do things that make you unhappy. If you can. Obviously, I know life is life and sometimes you do have to do things that make you unhappy. But honestly, that's something I realized as I got older. I'm not even old, but something that I really realized was that this is your life. You are entitled to live it the way you want to live it. So why are you doing things that make you unhappy? If going to this event will make you unhappy, don't go. If doing this one task makes you unhappy, don't do it. With all due and respect, like if cleaning your room is making you unhappy, you probably should still clean it, maybe like every once in a while, but you'll catch my drift. You don't need to do things that will intrude on your mental space and make you unhappy simply because you feel like you should do it. 11, stay in tune with your hobbies. I kind of got back into my hobbies here and there, got back into doing digital arts, hadn't drawn for a hot minute because I've just been too busy, and getting back into jewelry making, etc. I feel like getting back into my hobbies has helped ground me as a person because for the longest time I was just working, and I kind of lost the sense of myself and lost the sense of purpose because all I was doing was working. So I was like, what more is there to do? Oh wait, all of these hobbies that I completely forgot about. So getting back into my hobbies really just Also helps brighten my day. And number 12, last but not least, you don't always need to be productive. And it sucks because the whole thing about social media and whatever, all they do is just shove that down your throat of just like, here's my day in the life where I did like a bajillion things. We all know it's fake. Come on, like you probably just did that all in that one day just to make it look productive. I don't think you're doing that every day. Or if you are, I really hope you're not burning out. But social media has really made us feel like we have a pressure to always be productive and get a ton of things done all of the time, because if you're not participating in the rat race, then you're gonna fall behind somebody else who will hustle harder. But this kind of ties back into the other point, but we're all on our own journeys and it is okay to go take breaks. Please, your mental health is very important and you should always focus on that first and foremost, and your physical health too. But you don't need to be productive and grinding 24/7 to go be successful and just get a life for yourself. It'll take time to build it up, but overall, slow and steady wins the race, right? You don't want to be the rabbit that just runs really fast and then gets tired and goes to sleep. But anyways, these are 12 things that I learned in 2022. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if these were any of things that you have learned in your journey through 2022 or prior. And I hope we all go into 2023 with a bang. 2023 will be a good year. I'm hoping for it. But if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed so I could put out more amazing content for you guys. And also, I have free resources for content creators and streamers on my Ko-fi, and I have an Etsy in which I sell, there's like a dust ball, in which I sell emotes, overlays, anything you could want as a Twitch streamer. And I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys there or in another video. Or in my vlog channel, because I plan on doing a vlog from when I'm in Seoul, and by the time this video is up, I will probably be in Seoul. So, hope to catch you guys on any of those other platforms. Peace. Peace. What am I doing?